If you're an INFP who prides yourself on being deeply self aware, then let me ask you a brutal question. Is your self awareness actually helping you create a life that you like, or is it just some highly sophisticated form of self sabotage? I see comments on my channel all the time from INFPs asking things like, well, because I'm an INFP, does that mean that I can never be a doctor? Does that mean that I'm going to struggle with procrastination and focus forever? Does that mean that I'm doomed to fail? And it really breaks my heart because many of us have turned diagnoses and self analysis and personality type and theory into this prison where we use our self awareness to document the struggles, the flaws, the problems that we have. And we're turning our personality type into, dare I say, a badge of martyrdom instead of using it to map out and get clarity on our strengths. And when most INFPs face a big goal, we look at it through this lens of what traditional society wants for us, what's expected, and that's real stuff that we do have to deal with. I'm not dismissing that. There are expectations from, for example, US American culture being ESTJ focused, checking in with what works, keeping your head out of the clouds, focusing on progress. And it doesn't really help us that our inferior function is extroverted thinking, or TE. This is what I call the strategizing commander as a character within your psyche. And it's about getting things done, tracking progress, taking actionable steps. And because it's our inferior function, it's something that we have an inferiority complex around. We struggle with. We don't have a lot of bandwidth for that, those kind of actions. And it's like that character within us hasn't gotten much experience, hasn't gotten geared out. So it's like us seeing that there's this giant ogre guarding a treasure room. And many of us assume that the only way through is to act like a paladin or some heavily geared warrior and just charge straight in, step by step to the fight, stare the beast down, do this one-on-one fight on this narrow bridge and be very methodical about it. But we aren't this vanguard or frontline brawler type character. We are what I call innovating souls, as the other type name for INFPs. And we don't need to fight the ogre on its own terms. If you lean into your extroverted intuition, your explorer, as I call it, it's one of our core strengths, then we can learn to climb around the walls, to swing from the rafters, to see so many different possibilities. We can distract the ogre. We don't need this perfect, rigid plan. We just need to be resourceful. And extroverted intuition teaches us to be curious about how we can succeed. It's a very optimistic character. It's a bit squirrely sometimes, but it's very optimistic. So the real trap for overanalysis is that our minds expand possibilities exponentially. We get stuck in trying to solve every potential problem that might come up even before we've taken a step. This came up recently in the Evolve community in one of the QA sessions or in a workshop. One of the members was talking about, well, if they do this thing and they commit to, I think it was like taking supplements or vitamins or eating healthy or something like that, then what's going to happen a month from now or a half a year or a year from now when they've had to focus on that? And I stopped the person and told them that you're focusing on problems that you don't even have yet. And this is something that we do very often, because we can see all these different problems and we feel like we probably won't be able to handle them. And yet we can. In hypnosis and neuro-linguistic programming, NLP, there's a fundamental rule. You always get more of what you focus on. Your brain has a filter called the reticular activating system, RAS. And if you constantly focus on your limitations and ask something like, well, why am I so helpless? Why am I lazy? Why can't I succeed? Your RAS will happily point out every single piece of evidence to prove that you are lazy. It will support you. And if you want to change your results, then we need to change the question. So the moment you catch yourself focusing on a limitation or some negative thing, ask your brain a different question. Ask yourself, what do I actually want here? And then direct your RAS to find the target and not the obstacles. So stop focusing on all the minions and the goblins and focus on that treasure that you want behind it. Another rule that's been very helpful for me is ready, fire, aim. And I know it might create a lot of struggle for many introverts when we first start embracing it, but it's really helpful. So stop waiting for perfect clarity. We need to take on this concept. You don't need to. You might want to take on this concept of speed of implementation. This is something that I learned from Eben Pagan, and it's about the idea that gathering just enough information is going to help you take one action that is going to help you get real world feedback, make progress, and then you can adjust your aim from there after you've fired your shot. Think of it like a bow and arrow or a gun if that's what you want. And you shoot, and then you say, okay, well, from this position, I wasn't really calibrated that well. I missed it, so I can just move up a little bit, or I can pull back stronger. As opposed to, I need to perfectly align it and make sure that this one shot is going to do all the work, and adjust your aim after you fired the shot. So imagine that you just want to start a creative project, like a YouTube channel or a blog or that book that you've been thinking about for the last 10 years, and you're ready to do it. Well, traditional, methodical ESTJ approach says that you need to have a 30-day calendar. We need a perfect script. We need a professional editing studio. We need professional software or hardware. And maybe we even need a grant. We need some money before we can just get started. And an INFP trying to force that structure and that approach is going to get overwhelmed and quit. So as a resourceful, innovative type of person, we can ask ourselves, well, what is a fun, messy way that I can just get started, that I can share one idea today? We could record a video, some raw expression of who we are, unedited, 3 minutes on video on your phone, upload it, and then let real world feedback tell you what you can improve for the next one. You've fired, and then now you can aim. And I know that might be scary. We might think that we're going to get trolly comments or some negative feedback, and we probably will. And as someone who's made 1,400 videos now, as the last count, I've gotten trolly comments plenty of times. I'm still here. I'm not dead. I'm still making content for the people who the content is for. And so the principle here is actually pretty simple. Self-awareness is only useful if it leads to resourceful action. Knowing your flaws, knowing yourself is great, but knowing your flaws is not a virtue. If you use those flaws as an excuse to play safe, then you're hurting yourself, you're hurting the world, your community, because you're not sharing your gifts. And know that your personality type isn't a set of limitations. It's a toolkit. It's a sign of your character class and the skills, the strengths that you have, and some of the weaknesses too, and the struggles. But we have creative strengths, and we have the power to tap into what it means to be a human, what's really deep down and personal. And now, even if you stop focusing on your limitations and you start taking more action, you become more prolific, more creative because you are creating, there's still one main hurdle that almost every creative person, every INFP really struggles with the second that they start taking more action. And that's that sudden paralyzing fear that your work isn't perfect or it's not authentic enough to put out into the real world. And if you want help with that, you can check out this video over here.